Hi-oh, beaver! Away!
Woo! What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Critscast. After a short break between some tournaments and the season, we are back in black, getting ready for the next season that is coming up very soon. But before that, we'll get to cast a little bit of the preseason, checking out some maps, testing out the team compositions, and seeing how it all works out. And of course, you're going to enjoy it with me, the best caster to have ever lived and cast this game. With Mr. Jakeowaty, accompanied today by my two loyal and trusted squires and subjects, Wiethoofd on the production as usual, as Domaytoe at my side. Games tonight may have not much in terms of stakes aside from the bragging rights and testing said compositions. However, inevitably, we're going to be seeing which map will get added to the map pool in the next season, beginning with the one we're currently on, which is Swiftwater. So, Domaytoe, without further ado, what are your feelings on this map in particular, as where the teams we're going to be casting tonight, inVision and Kiti's bakenbardami?
Good evening, folks. My feeling is that we're in medieval times after this introduction, but swiftly transitioning into the game. Apparently, Squire number 1 is casting with Jake. Probably because you're middle-aged, or why would that introduction be otherwise?
Now.
Anyway, we are, as you said, my feelings are pretty good because we are testing out new maps for ETF2L. That is not a new map in general, because this map is a genuine and original UGC map, but in a different version, I do think, so for ETF2L right now. And we are seeing two more, recently at least, settled down teams here in this scenario where, they are not so established, even though I do think inVision have a bit more of the edge. But yeah, we'll have to see how this actually works out. It is a payload, so classical and genuine Highlander map. Who's your pick, Jake, for tonight?
Ooh, for tonight, it's a difficult choice, Domaytoe. It's kind of like I have to choose between people I'm kind of close with, which are inVision. I've played for them quite a few times. I know Stingen very, very well. And I know, my boy Barth is on the heavy weapons guy. You will not find a better heavy man, even if you try your hardest. He's currently, in my humble opinion, the best heavy that has ever roamed in ETF2L, at least for the couple past seasons. And I've pretty sure we haven't seen the extent of his skill just yet. We have Wiethoofd, we have Utka, who's been playing amazingly. I believe he's been also playing the past seasons for the Russian national team, doing an amazing job. Whoa, 69. There's so many good players there, you can't really miss out on Chopper. So it's going to be a very close match, because on the other side, you have Kiti's bakenbardami, second place in Nations Cup, basically a Russian national team with a couple of mix-ups there. Lightclaw, obviously, is going to probably beat Magni, that scout class. He's known to be doing a lot of work on the flank. Then you have Py-bun, the famed Py-bun of esteemed fame in Russia especially. Everybody knows him, everybody loves him as well, and he's kind of living up to that myth and kind of fame of the medic that everybody knows. Like back in the day, it was the sucker. You just have that person that is always there, and he's always been playing, and it's just going to be enjoyable to watch him as well. Obviously, Boshi, the amazing soldier who is very well known for his jump maps and streams, and he's just overall one of the people that you just never know where he's coming from. So it's just going to be a very, very close match in my opinion. It's going to be difficult to predict who's going to win this map, however, because neither team really plays it all that often. I don't think anybody really plays this map often, and the problems with that map, Domaytoe, are usually the fact that it's just very long, very open, and susceptible to snipers. So this time around, it's going to be Finske and Stingham pretty much shooting each other off every single time they leave spawn. And it's just going to take a long time before they reach the final point. So it's going to be a long one, I think.
But these old school, or at least settled well players, should be aware of this map and how it is played, because as I was saying, they played it in UGC probably for some seasons before, so they are aware of how you have to play to break down this map. And we'll have to see. I think they are all joining in, so we should go live quite soon, as only a few, or I think one player is missing onto the Russian side. We'll also have to see, you compared Py-bun, and we probably have to compare the medics throughout this. I think it's quite, reminiscent maybe, to comparing Py-bun to the medic, who was basically called the sucker, Maybe that is also why some people like to give people credit, because how can you not like this name, or this play style of, playing as the sucker. Anyway, so, Jake, do you already go down the Russians? I can give you the stage for that, and we do go live right now.
So as we're going live, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Preseason Cup, getting ready for the games of the season. Two teams battling each other tonight, and it is Kitty's bakenbardami, also known as Sideburn Wales. Against them is gonna be inVision here on Swiftwater on Critscast. My name is Jake. Today with me is Domaytoe, and I'm gonna go down the Russian team as the teams are setting up. And on the Scout class, we have Light Claw. Soldier is gonna be Boshi. Marcus 14 on the Pyro class. Pluxa is going to be maining demo here. GDJ on the heavy weapons guy. Marisa on the engineer. Pahan. Pidoras, as some people call him, is going to be on the medic. Finske on the sniper rifle. And then Porter rounding it off on the spy. And as for inVision Domaytoe, who is there?
Well, for inVision, as one might envision, it is Utka, B.B, Utka.gg, no space, brackets inactive. Then Dro69 on the soldier class, DQZ inactive as well. Evidently not on the pyro class, Wiethoofd on Demoman, then Barthis, who is streaming apparently, on the heavy class, Essex on engineer, Tuha on the medic class, Stinghand on sniper, and Chupa on spy as Pluxa is the first one to go down. Also, they did use crits and spawn, but that didn't matter at all. So now the gates are down, and Utka is actually the first vital pick, I would say, to go down. But this first point is actually no so big fight on this map ever since, actually, I would say.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult to hold it. It's way too open, and you can see the blue team here. Kitty's bakenbardami are pushing up. Boshi and pretty much the whole flank class are just currently occupying the top stairs. Pluxa is just trying to clear out the room. And right now, not much of a defensive resistance coming out of inVision. They don't want to risk too much on this point, because once you lose this point, you lose the choke point in the tunnels, and that may be very difficult to recuperate from this. Boshi now trying to poke out some players. Stingham has a nice sideline on the cart right now. Trooper is also lying in wait to stair stab somebody who is now on the cart. There's only two classes, Marissa and Marcus, pushing this cart, trudging forward. Porter finds a kill up to two there. Stingham Barth is going down. He's going to go down as well, but he's already on the damage, and the cart is moving dangerously close to the point. It's going to round it up. First one without too much resistance, but now we're going into the tunnels, and there's going to be a lot of stuff happening there. However, Tuja is moving back with the team, going to decide to hold on to the stairs down.
Well, if Kitty would have been a bit more aggressive, they could have maybe even get some forward pressure onto the medic and force them. They got really good frags there by their spy, which basically nullifies out now and doesn't actually change all that much. They wanted to back out anyway. Right now there's this shutter area being occupied. There are two flanks usually on this map. It's on top where the combos clash against each other, as we do see one Uber force, but the gate quickly gets closed as Tua went down low, used the Uber, and now they have a full Uber advantage. They are pushing out with the Russians forward.
Not gonna look too good. Uber's coming out. The heavy tries to save the team. Barth is gonna fall down. Barth is chasing everyone with W plus M1, chasing the engineer. This is the demo, maybe able to get him. He does, almost does him. Thing and Trooper gonna go down. Tuja gets out of there alive with a little bit of Uber left, but they had to just leave the second point and that top position to the other team. Kitty's bakenbardami on full throttle right now.
Yeah, and the flank, that was the second position on this point you have to worry about. The soldier's still behind. Dro is still doing stuff from behind, but Utka and him couldn't save the intense pressure that they were doing, actually forcing the enemies teams, well, combo out. So in the end, it didn't actually matter that they won the flank fight there. Right now, they still have the super advantage, but it doesn't actually matter on the defensive team. You're kind of happy to just sit there. Lightclaw goes down, Pluxa as well. Some picks are happening. Might actually delay this Uber here, as Porter also gets found out. No cheeky steps coming in from him, and Body dies as well. So they might just wait for their respawns, but they can do that because they only took 2 minutes for 2 points.
Yeah, they had a little bit of time to spare. They don't have to worry about it too much. Marissa already working on the teleport to bring reinforcements up to the front. Pahan has 100% in his bank right now, waiting for GDJ to heal up as well with those crossbow shots. He's that heavy alive and well. Dito sticking up that entrance quite well as well, just to make sure nobody goes through. Almost only tags Lightclaw just a little bit. He didn't get as much as he wanted from this. Pahan, however, is unwilling to go through there. He's gonna move back and wait for an opportunity from the team. However, inVision are taking some names. Finske ported down for the count, and there's Uber lying in wait. Dito moving forward, looking for some more kills. Pahan is all by himself. He has to use Uber charge to move away, and that's an amazing force out of the demo man, doing just God's work right now. Plus, they're trying to use the rest of the blue Uber to do something about the defense, but right now it is all lost, and Tuja has a massive Uber advantage.
Strong play. They only need to watch the rear, and Fansky, well, who just dies there. So good actual protection work. There comes Spy though, getting Stinghand and getting the engineer as well.
Wow.
In those kind of downtimes, you can, well, also go down because the Spy just snuck in there and sometimes you just lose out on those kind of pick scenarios there, so they might actually get pressured out here. They still have the Uber though to contend to maybe defend this point for a little longer. Plaxa also goes down. It is kind of imbued right now as the scout is trying to claw his way forward, so they have to get this cap time as the soldier is defending it alone though. Gets light claw, gets a pick, but you see that the card literally gets capped for almost free as the engine flies into the air, but the card is so close, Jake.
Yeah, Barth is now moving onto the card, gonna find Porter with his Thomas Lab, looking for some more kills. Marcus Longhealth is gonna go down as well. Barth is doing work there. Now Plaxa is moving forward, trying to rejoin the rest of the team. GDJ is in a lot of trouble. He is gonna survive this one. Bahan has 100% Uber charges to just use his to save the team, buy him some time. Bahan popping his Uber in the background. Duo getting caught off the sideline as well. And they're moving in forward with that Uber charge. However, they didn't take too many kills. Only Duo down for the count. DGJ moving forward, trying to get some more kills, some more damage, but Dino is there and gets a triple kill. He's chasing behind, he's able to get him, and he does! That's Quadra for the Devilman!
10k as well. He hits double digits at the end of that fight, and the first decisive fight of this map, I would say, because before they actually got some, well, ringer rosing around, you know, like there were no big advantages being lost, even though they lost a lot of numbers. They didn't lose their make per se, they didn't have any big Uber deficit or disadvantage per se, but right now this probably just saved them from Detoad. On the back end of that, they also killed they also killed Fusky and people that went into top right. He's on 11k right now. They kind of need to crack this down. The card rolls back as well, so they might have just solidified their defensive position here. The well, the inVision team, as they're getting confused by something behind Marcus. There's a Pyro, he's still behind.
How did he manage to get through there? Thankfully though, Utka finds the kill on him. Nice headshot by Finsky, taking down DQZ for the count. Just kills going left and right, but right now the timing works for inVision team, managing to slow just this sideburn whales a little bit down. The card has rolled back as well. Sting is also kind of scooping in, making sure nobody goes through. Both medics. Actually, well, Tuja is at a disadvantage right now. Bahan is at 90%. He will be able to use his supercharge any given time now.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what they need. Otherwise, it's very difficult to push into this point. It's just too open. Trooper's gonna find himself a nice little cheeky stab onto Finske, opening up those side lanes. That's what inVision desperately needs as supercharge comes out.
They can soak this Uber up here in the defensive playstance because they only used on the logo. Boshi dies as well.
Wow.
They got ahead of themselves their defense before with the Uber, so that actually gave the offense the advantage. But right now, they're actually getting cleaned up there by the repush. Some players are dying. Tuha as well, he's on a 10-second respawn still. And the scout even forward snuck in through like 10 seconds ago through the gate. Couldn't get anything, but then again, they just fell victim to this repush, and well, that might actually just be the breaker. I mean, it's 6.5 minutes, you know, and if you do set up, it can actually still work for the defense, and even still, the card has a long way to roll forward.
Oh my god, Barth is just absolutely wombo combo. Happy Feet runs away using the Air Blast. I mean, this is the reason why I think this heavy is the best in the business. But it's Kitty's bakenbardami that are pushing on forward. The car is relentlessly being pushed by the team. Nice position from the Russian team as well, just making sure that people are going down here. Dito gonna go down to a nice rocket from Boshi, getting them heals from Pahan, who is almost at 100%. Card has been capped with almost no resistance from inVision, and now Tuja, or Tuha as you call him, 75% only in his bag, and they're down to their last point. Albite is the most difficult one to push. Your Porter in the background getting chased by DQZ. I think he's gonna find that spy really easily, but it's gonna waste a little bit of time that Pyro could spend on the front line. So all things considered, not too bad. Also Otka on the back line and Duo as well, just putting dents in that team offense going on into the last point.
On inVision, you could see the split in the playstyle that they wanted to get down on the fourth point, actually, when they wanted to defend. That Detoad walked forward alone, but he had no support and he just died. So it is of utmost importance here that you keep your players together. Even still, it's a huge map to keep your players actually coordinated together. Right now, they're just tippy-toeing around this gate area on the top and trying to work something in because they are both on equal percentages. They both have... Ooh, they're walking into the sticky trap. He doesn't detonate though. That could have... Oh! He does! Pahan gets dropped. Wow. Brain play.
Big brain time, ladies and gentlemen. Pahan down for the count. Now Duja is at 100. 100%, very comfortable. The card has been pushed quite far forward, but that drop is very, very crucial. And now a lot of the blue team is kind of scattered around this control point. They're trying to find their way back. Plux is going to find himself a little skirmish on the side, but he's going to be out of the situation quite safely. Stingen's also very good sideline on the card as well, tagging Bashi and getting finished up by Asux, but there's a spy on the back. He gets Bahad once again. Stingen doing work. No more medic for the blue team yet again, but the card is being pushed forward. They need to put the bodies on there, and just in time, they get it, but Dito falls into the pit, and that's a pit kill for you, ladies and gentlemen. Go down in the chat, type in pit. Tuja still defending the point. Barth is right helping, but the card is so dangerously close. A breeze over there could push this one in. They cannot afford themselves to move out of this position right now.
Wiethoofd found the only, hole in this entire map where I can probably die in. Well, so good exploit from there. They just literally walked through main because they managed to see that, well, if Pan isn't staying alive, then it's worth to keep our life. Since they just walk forward and actually get this card so far up that they're forcing the players not to stand on it. Stingen gets sniped there as well. It's quite perilous as they're playing, but might actually work out for them as they're taking the chance here. Marcus spearheading this engineer. No, you have to go on the card. You can't just fall into your death to your doom. Oh my god. Jake, what do we say to the god of pit? Today, apparently.
Today. You say it today. People are falling down. It's something that you still need to kind of figure out. Not a lot of Highlander players really do play Swiftwater. It's been a map in UGC map pool a long time ago, and these days, nobody really remembers how to play this map. If that door opens on the last point, if the card is close enough, you can still die to fall damage there. You can just be claimed by the relentless gods of the pit, and life will be taken away. That's a great play out of Kitty's bakenbardami, using the distraction, using whatever they have to just kind of split the attention of the defending team. inVision kind of not really sure where to decide, whether we go top, whether we go bottom. Do we put some people on the card? If you do put some people on the card, it's very difficult to get out of there. So if you are stuck right next to the card, you either die or die defending it. There's really no other way out. And Stingen there also finding himself a cheeky headshot from Finsky, as we saw on the camera, just kind of hiding behind the barrels. They can still see that that head popping out, that green, lime green hat is definitely not helping him staying hidden. But now 10 seconds left on the clock, Domaytoe. This time around, it's Kitty who's going to be defending, and let's see how they decide to tackle the first point defense.
Good point though on the defense there, like, the point you're mentioning that, like, what did they even get distracted by, you know? Like, they had 5 or 6 players walking through main anyway, so, like, did 8 of their players get distracted by 3 or something? Dito tried to jump in there, gets completely juggled out, doesn't lose anything. They are trying to actually get some suicide wave forward as Pyro jetpacks forward. They are actually off the ice on them. They're getting the frags down. Pluxy, Boshi, and Fusky both do fall. And I don't know whether you got all the frags, you know, just coordinated spam damage or something, and it works out in their favor.
Just W plus M1, but all classes, not just the Pyro. Pyro also using the backpack, your DQZ, just jetting himself forward. Now Barthas is taking this offensive spot with Duo and DQZ in tow. They're gonna take this defense down. Cart is still slowly being pushed, but that's a much better showing from the team. GDJ is gonna go and die there, visit the respawn queue. Barthas is out of position, but he can take quite a lot of punishment. However, that fully charged scope by Finns is gonna claim his life right now. Uber's almost ready for both teams. And Pahan dropping the Uber charge in the background, getting stabbed there by Trooper himself. Master of the knife, taking the life pot. Well, here Kuja popping his supercharge almost immediately, not trying to waste much more time. Also, the defense is gonna take a much longer time to respawn as well, because there's a long time to go for the attacker team. Dito battling himself with Bashi with that fully healing loadout on that soldier. Seems that they are able to stabilize themselves as Tuja falls down to the ground, face planting on those metal parts of the staircase here.
Comparing Pahan to the Saga, maybe he should, in this reminiscent, rename himself to the Dropper. It's the second drop in the game, I do think so. It's kind of split up actually on this map, so it's a bit hard to keep your focus on what is actually happening, since there were a lot of gameplay important decisions being made on the upper gate, but then again the card still had to be pushed as Dro does get stabbed, I do think, in the face as well from Porter, so he's getting porting him right out of there into the respawn queue. But in essence, I feel like they're a bit Sundnut there on the combo and on the flank, you know. Obviously they have to take different routes, but they have to do it at the same time frame, and this is kind of the issue with bigger and maps where you don't see your teammates per se.
Yeah, it's a difficult spot to be in right now. Barth is moving forward. Brave man, that heavy weapons guy, but there's blocks in the with those sticks. He's gonna go down here with a nice pipe to the face. Dito moving on forward, also getting mowed down by the Thomas Lab. And Bahan has that 100% Uber charge ready to go at any given time. Trooper also just falling down. Only 4 people alive for the blue team. They are safe and sound. They have their medic protected, but they just lost too many players, and the time is ticking. Now, Tuja is waiting for the team to respawn. They got a nice teleporter leading up top, but there's so many red bodies up there as well. It's going to be very difficult to just go through this wall of flesh with that Uber charge in mind as well. I think both medics are expecting to have Uber charge. Just kind of have to wait for a hero play. Finske, nice positioning there by the sniper. Takes down Barthis. So no more heavy weapons guy again here. Dito is just kind of scared of going this way. It's like, you know what, guys? If they don't want us there, let's go through the main. And that's what they're doing. Tracks is the way to go after all.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're just trying on this gate area all the time just to push their head against the wall. It's tenuous, as you would say, because they also should try to do something on the flank. It was Stinghen and the soldier with that duo trying to get something from the lower left from the lower left tunnel area, because you do have a great sideline if the combo just holds high ground there, but they're kind of not distracted. They're not getting any space for free. Right now, though, they actually do get a force. It seemed like it before, but they actually did use on the low ground, and right now, Plakiska is just claiming all the kills there on the low ground as well. He left the high ground, and I was a bit critical, because you do have explosives after all, but he just claims everything. He's plucking them, and it actually does work out in the favor of the defensive team.
I can't believe you've done this again, Domaytoe. I mean, I'm the king of puns here, and you're trying to claim my throne? I don't think so, mister. Let's focus on the game yet again. Amazing cleanup there by Kitty's bakenbardami, just absolutely demolishing the opposition, holding those chokes very well. 5 minutes and 45 seconds left on the clock for inVision to get something done. Trooper in the background using the distraction to take down a kill there onto GDJ. Finske is also down, and Pahan goes down to Dito, who's yet again doing work. Now, Tuja is in a lot of trouble from the scout. They finally managed to finish off Light Claw, but Tuja only 60 HP. He's not going to live for far too long if he doesn't get a health back there. And Porter is on him right now, looking for the kill with the pistol revolver here. Woodka, however, finds him almost. Porter only getting tagged there. He's still back there, but at least the medic is safe and has a nice Uber charge waiting to go in a very, very short time. Most of the red team is currently being spawned, and that's what inVision is using right now, using those low respawn waves. Here, Porter's gonna find himself a kill. Yes, he does. Dito's down. He's gonna go down himself, but that's no demo man on the battlefield. That's so crucial, holding those respawn doors, but it seems that Kitty will decide to let this point go and settle themselves on the third one on Swiftwater.
Probably, well, maybe not the safe, well, it was a safe play, maybe not the bravest of the plays, but it probably shouldn't matter all that much, because you can definitely eke this time out on the last 2 points, but they're right now just draining their resources away, and they still have this Uber deficit. It's interesting to see how they vanquished this point, as they actually do get the force right now, which they could have maybe tried to get a bit earlier, but right now they're getting just shoved back into their spawn. They do have 90% on the Uber stakes, they're Mahan 88 actually, but it doesn't matter because they just got all the frags, and right now they're just claiming this 4th point absolutely for free. So in essence, right now they have 4 minutes to push this last point, which is doable. And they also get the force there. Maybe they even want to contest this 4th point. Let's see how this rains out.
Lightclaw is going on to the medic, but he's getting killed there on the way. Utka is low on health, but still battling, trying to make sure that Tuja survives this one. A lot of red bodies on the low ground, and you know it from the Star Wars. Low ground is no ground. Vito slowly moving in forward, finds himself a Bashi in there, but he decides not to pursue this kill. He's just killed one of his teammates. 3 people down for the side of inVision. They can just simply wait for some respawns. And nicely door open for the team as well, waiting out for somebody to help him out, just kind of secure. Finske is also kind of scooping in onto the low ground. Porter sees the thing in there. It's too much spam coming from the demo man on the red side here, and they're just gonna decide to simply just kind of poke their way out. Dito quite aggressively with Barthis as well. Both men are fully charged right this moment, and Deep finds himself a lot of damage on the GDJ. So he's enjoying that nice bacon sandwich. Cart is getting pushed, Sentry's getting spammed. Doesn't look too good for Kitty at 3 minutes left on the clock.
It's equal Uber percentage. There is absolutely no excuse for you giving up ground right now. They're actually getting the frags onto the offensive team, which basically still stays in 4th position, so they could get aggressive on them. They had 5 picks on them. Detour also goes down. Fuss, Dice though, and Porter, they're kind of losing all their vital players there, as I just say that Trooper swoops in, because they just stay passive there, because I don't know why, because they just had all the picks before, and right now they're just completely getting cleaned up. It's only Plaxa forward, he's getting some stick traps there, and DQZ is going on, but the card as well, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the first winning team of tonight, and the first game going the way of the blue team, which is... it is apparently best of 3, as Wiethoofd is telling me.
Nicely done, Domaytoe. I was waiting for you to make that mistake.
He said best of 1 before the cast.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just waiting for you to make that mistake. I never know myself either. You never really know if it's best of 3 or not, and then just like, maybe he'll mention it, and thankfully he did. You're gonna take this one.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The first winner of the first round of our first best of 3 tonight.
Yeah, there you go. Nice save. But it seems that inVision are kind of like... What I can take away from this game is basically inVision not that sure on the first 2 or 3 points of defense, but the last one they've got locked down. They kind of got mowed and really aggressed upon. The second or the third point of this map really kind of was their strong point as well. They were doing everything right. Dito was going absolutely massive with those massive kill streaks. It kind of worked out for them. They did a job. They got stuck when they were attacking on the first point for... Well, not really the first point. The first point was really good, but like the second point maybe a little. Those choke points are hard to attack when the defensive team is kind of all positioned well, and it seemed that Kitty's bakenbardami kind of got there very fast and got their defenses up. But in the end, they didn't manage to get enough time in the first round to get this one done and secured. So now they get another chance. 1 point is leading inVision over Kitty's bakenbardami, but it's not over. Well, it's not over just yet. They still have a little bit more Swiftwater to watch here with us on the Crits Cast. Domaytoe, take it away.
Yeah, the first suicide wave right now rings out. Wiethoofd is the first one to go down. There comes the jump runs again from the Pyro, getting hyped in the air, actually not getting anything done. Also dying there by light claws, meat shots from behind. Probably only did 10 damage, but I can still say meat shots. Even though we do have showing damage numbers, so never mind me. There's still Soda hiding close here, and light claws getting aggressive there, actually getting his life claimed. But in essence, Jake, even if you die here on the defense, you know, and you're not all that much of a vital player, it doesn't matter so much per se, because then you basically spawn anyway when they push the second point, usually. Wiethoofd, though, I don't want this to distract from the fact that he got absolutely domed point blank there by Fuzz.
Yeah, it's just caught that bullet right between his teeth, and now going in is Dito, full throttle, find himself something, and we do believe I have a pause. No, just a little bit of a lag here. Dito just battling an entire team of red by himself, gonna get chased down by Lightclaw. However, the point has been capped by the blue team. inVision still on the offense, doing quite well, 100% for each team. So they're just kind of waiting for a good opportunity to push. Lightclaw is just in the back, kind of waiting for an opportunity to maybe cause some damage, and it seems that this is best of 1. So yet again, it's a debate. Thanks, Wiethoofd, for making a fool out of both of us, because if this is best of 1, it seems that inVision has moved on to the next stage of the game here on Swiftwater. And I mean, what do you
I don't think it's getting made a fool out of anyone. Who believes that you play 3 best of 3s in 1 hour for three consecutive best of 3s?
Swiftwater especially, right? I'm just saying that this map is very long.
Yeah, Twitch chat, please do think for yourself. Who would believe that? I'm sorry, but anyway.
But usually, you know, what we're doing right now, after the game is done and dusted, what we do is take a look at the log. But this time around, who cares about the logs? It's about having fun. And looking at numbers is not always fun. We're gonna go and basically talk about this game just a little bit. There's not much to say about both of those teams, because if you're a veteran TF2 player like we are, those teams really do not need much of an introduction. They've been around for a very long time with a few changes here and there, and they pretty much, I believe, have solidified rosters. Not many players are just not out of the roster yet. You know, you want to have the best team possible, and this was kind of like a breaking in game with a little bit on the stake, you know, testing out the map. We're gonna take on the map itself. So, Dom, what do you think of it? Do you think that this map is good enough for ETF2L, or is it just needs a little bit more extra work from the map making community? What do you think?
First of all, it's important to see how experienced teams play on that, and I would check if I have to play best of 1 or best of 3 before they even play that, you know. Big surprise to any of those well-settled in teams that, I mean, they can't read rules. You basically very much fit in with the usual TF2L top teams at that point. Though, that of the charts, Jake, as I said before, this map is basically very old as well, like
It is.
this standard map, so people know how to play this map. I don't think it needs so much fixing as per se. I think it really depends on your perspective, because I really do think in that you get a map, you do get a concept that you have to play off, and then it's your turn to make something out of that map. It's your turn to invent strategies and some, techniques like that. And if you say that it's broke map or something, sometimes you're right, but most of the time it's just lack of creativity, Like you get a basic concept of a map and then you have to play around that. And I do think that Swiftwater definitely does add up to that. Maybe it's a bit too long. Some people say that. I would argue that the first point might actually not be necessary, as we saw from this game probably. But aside from that, I do think it's a very stable map, and you might end up seeing faster times when people actually do get settled in. So I think you have to play this map a bit more in ETF2L standards to see if you have to change anything on the points per se. But I think it's a good status quo, a good presentiment on what you have to work with.
Yeah, I do agree with you, is that this map has been with us for a very long time. It started out as a community map, and it was kind of made out of love. The map makers really wanted to make a big open map, just geared towards Highlander and big teams, and kind of worked out. We've seen it being played many years ago, and it kind of fallen into this kind of pit of despair, as that last point has shown us. Two or three kills have been claimed. Just not being utilized as much. Teams don't really like it either, and that's mostly due to two facts. First of all, it's just long. You either play best of one on it, and you get upset because if you mess something up once, then you don't really have a second chance at it, and it's just not a good situation to be in. You just want to figure out the other team as well as they want, or as much as they want to figure out you. And it's kind of like a tug of war as well in that mindset in the strategy department. The other problem with that map is that it's very, very flat and open, which means that snipers are usually just the killer machines for either, and it is a big problem for pretty much any team that doesn't have as good of a sniper for the other team as the first one, is that they're gonna be going down all the time. It's also a big spy playground because there's just so much room to maneuver. And there's quite a few choke points that are just a little bit too easy to hold. However, as we've seen, they're not impossible to push. However, with a good team, they may become impossible. So this map definitely needs a little bit more love from the community itself. I personally really do love this map in pubs as well as in competitive, despite being myself a medic and being a prime target for said sniper sightlines. But I'd like to see it work, and it's a good map. It's definitely, it's not going to surpass Upward. It's not going to surpass Badwater, but it's definitely up there. And seeing this map being played, even best of 3, would probably be very enjoyable for all teams, because it's just fun. It is just borderline fun map.
If people are wondering, by the way, why we are not giving big brain plays or big brain strategies rather, and seem a bit enriched by that, because it is Kritzcast, you usually learn something here. On top of what Jake just said, it's a very flat and open map and everything, and pro tip, you can play it a bit more aggressively on the defense there, like on other payload maps. I do think so that it's a bit more forgiving. Usually you never throw your life away on defense because that's pretty bad. But here, at some points, where we mentioned that even in the cast, like in a second or a third point, you can get a bit more overzealous because you lose the point anyway. There's no getting back into it. And even if you die, it doesn't matter because the team can't hold forward all that much on the offense there and hold you for like 2 minutes, even if you have like 2 or 3 players down, it doesn't matter. They spawn like 4 times in the in that time frame where the card actually needs to roll forward or something like that. So that's just a little pro tip there. Amidst all of that chaos, but you can still keep being enthralled because we do have the other rounds coming up. Also not with me, so it doesn't matter. Jake will carry on this wonderful evening.
Aw, Domaytoe, I love you. In a very platonic, straight way, but I still love you. Right? Yes? Don't feel bad. I mean, come on. Yeah, I'm just gonna throw it to a break very, very soon, ladies and gentlemen, so please don't leave. Enjoy some amazing Nullaby music provided to us by Wiethoofd's amazing music searching skill, as we're gonna be getting ready for the second app of tonight, which is gonna be Payload Vigil. don't go anywhere, and while you are waiting, please do browse our amazing shop at critcast.com/merch, I believe, as well as, check out our Patreon if you want to help out directly. Twitch subscriptions are also very welcome. Many ways to support what we do here, and what we do is out of pure love. So don't go anywhere. We'll be seeing you very soon, and just simply, hang out with us. Have a chat.
Hi, old beaver! Away!